So I want to offer my welcome to everyone who is new and everyone who is back after a long absence. We've got a few people in the crowd who haven't been coming regularly and are with us today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your consciousness into this space. Please know it really makes a big difference. We feel your heart. We feel your wisdom. Thank you for being here. And that goes for you guys online as well, whether you're watching it live with us or watching it on recording later. You're with us. It's important. Thank you. So our talk today is entitled Celebrating Freedom. And as we can all tell, we are in the holiday spirit. Beautiful decorating, right? Our elves did all kinds of beautiful work. And so I feel like I have to start this talk with a bit of a caveat. It's important that you know about me, and this might really surprise you. I'm a little bit particular about my Christmas tree. I have friends who will not come to my house while the Christmas tree is being put up. I have friends who claim they have been injured by my Christmas tree. My husband actually fears the Christmas tree. Left to my own design, I will put up a 12-foot tall tree, or multiple trees, you never know what I'll do, that has white lights. Not yellow lights, white lights. No blinking, no chasing, no colors, no weird blue cast. You know what I'm talking about. This tree will have all white, silver, or crystal ornaments. No gold. This is not my Christmas tree because I couldn't take a perfect enough picture of my Christmas tree, so I chose a stock image. That's the kind of crazy I am. No red ribbons. No, I made it in first grade ornaments, unless it happens to be white or crystal or silver. Preferably, all of these should be handmade by me perfectly. It is a level of perfection that reaches, crazy. And it escalates through the season. It starts with the tree, and then comes cookies. You can't just have one kind of cookie. You can't just have 3 kinds of cookie. No. You have to have all the kinds of cookie. And they have to be Grandma's recipe to the T. And they have to be decorated perfectly, Martha Stewart style. I have a kit. I might have 2 kits. I'm not sure. But Jeff Hargis, the cookies are really good, right? And what inevitably happens is by the end, I'm going to say December 21st, December 22nd, there is a puddle of crying, hysterical Reverend Lezli. I can't do all of this. It is just not good. Christmas is ruined. And it's usually ruined because, my Spritz cookies didn't get exactly the right tone of golden brown. It's like I think that if I can do it all perfectly, if I can create this amazing visual cacophony of Christmas cheer, that somehow everything in the season will go beautifully, and my blended, multi-faith, multi-generational, multi-political persuasion family will all come together, all 748 of us, and everyone will get along, and we will have this beautiful Christmas, glorious moment of goodness and perfection because the sugar cookies had the perfect little silver ball things, And it's crazy, right? It's crazy. It's just me, though, right? I mean, to that extent, it probably is just me. But we all have our wacky things. I have a friend who has to color coordinate all of the Christmas presents under her tree, and you're not allowed to bring something that isn't color. She will put your wrapped gift in a gift bag that she has prepared for this purpose so that the tree continues to look perfect. I don't know about your family, but my family has, I think every family has a version of this, so stick with me. We have a thing called, I'm not making this up, my mother's in the front row and is probably going to kill me later. We have a thing called yummy salad. It is not yummy. My opinion only, members of the family like it. It is a form of ambrosia that is so cloyingly sweet, freaks me out. It's definitely not a salad. And for years and years and years, somebody had to make the yummy salad or it's not Christmas. Until the year I finally put my foot down and said, no one eats the yummy salad. It turns out who loves yummy salad? My grandfather, who passed like 12 years ago. We love you, Grandpa, but I'm not making the yummy salad anymore. Because when we get so stuck in this script of perfection, what it does is it means we don't get the things we think we're earning. We think we're earning peace. We think we're earning joy. We think we're earning love by creating this perfect expression of a holiday that I don't know where I got that picture in my mind, but I'm telling you, it's embedded deep in there. But instead, what we get is tired, frustrated, feeling like not enough. And when that beautiful family does get together, all 946 of them, you notice it gets bigger every time I mention them? Yeah. All of these people come together. I'm so tired, I don't enjoy them. I really cheat myself out of the holiday. So when we're talking about celebrating freedom at Christmas time, at Hanukkah time, we're the ones that are keeping us from the freedom by holding ourselves to this ridiculous list of things we think we have to do, and we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it. Drew Houston said, instead of trying to make your life perfect, give yourself the freedom to make your life an adventure and go ever upward. Boy, doesn't that feel nicer than, but I didn't make enough kinds of fudge. This is a thing I've actually said. Why perfection? Why? Why do we get caught up in this? Why do we do it? We have the expectations of ourselves. One too many Hallmark Christmas movies. Who's watching the Hallmark Christmas movies? Uh-huh. I love you that didn't raise your hand, even though we know you're doing it. These expectations that we have from our childhood, from the movies we've watched, from the beautiful things that we see other people doing in their holidays. But last week, didn't we hear that we think that other people have it together or those movies have it together or whatever because we're looking at our bloopers and we're watching their highlight reel, right? We don't see their meltdown. Y'all didn't know I melt down, right? Like, Joe does because she's been there. She's seen it happen. There's also the expectations of other people. But if we don't have the yummy salad, it's not Christmas. I assure you, Christmas happened the next year and every year after without the yummy salad. If we don't have the green bean casserole, green bean casserole? You can make an extra dish and bring it to my sister Lindsay's house. I'm not making it this year. We think that if we can be perfect enough, that we will protect ourselves from the shame and the guilt and the blame and the judgment that can rise up in those circumstances. No one can criticize my Christmas dinner if I make exactly the right kind of ham with the special honey brown sugar glaze and go in and baste it the right amount of times. And it's a really good ham, right? It's good. I like it. And my family is not going to love me less. If my ham isn't perfect, my family is not going to love me less if there are only 4 kinds of cookies instead of 11 kinds of cookies. Half the time, they don't even notice. The stuff we're killing ourselves over, they don't even notice. And what really happens is as we chase these behaviors to ward off the risk of shame and blame and judgment, what we're doing is we're shutting off all the good feelings too. Because we don't get to selectively tune out. If we numb the bad stuff, we numb the good stuff. If we block the scary stuff, we block the joyful stuff. That's why I'm a dissolved mess on the sofa crying about stuffing. Because in my shutting down any risk that anyone, anywhere on the entire continent and beyond would have some kind of a fault with the number of green salads I place on the island for the buffet, I've also turned off my ability to just spend time with my little niece, who's adorable, to just be with my husband and have a glass of wine and relax. I've shut myself off from all of that good stuff. I've made a lot of strides in this, but kind of the deeper I go, the more I can see where I have more to go. Oh, the joy of spiritual work. So the answer to this is freedom. The answer to all of this is freedom. Freedom is the opposite of perfection. And freedom is one of those things in our movement that we say a lot, kind of like whole, perfect, and complete. We say it a lot, and not a lot of people know what we're talking about. Just embrace your freedom. Everyone lives in freedom. You've heard this, yes? Anybody ever thought, what the heck are they talking about? Or even better, yeah, but how? How, right? So Ernest Holmes in our book of the month, which is The Art of Life, tells this great little example that I'm going to share with you about, freedom is, it's the state we all naturally live in. Kind of like fish live in water, right? Fish live in water. And I can imagine fish being in the water and somebody says, just embrace your water. It's all around you. You're always in the water. And the fish are like, where's the water? Where's the water? What's the water? I need to learn about the water. And the fish is told, just surrender to the water. Just let the water carry you. Like, what is this? What is this water? I can see them searching north and south and east and west in search of water. I'm going to find the water. Reading books about water. How to find their inner water. How to know if they've embodied the water. Telling old fish tales about, in yonder days, we were surrounded with water. As far as a fish could see, there was water. I can even imagine them getting together in little groups and rolling their little fishy eyes and swishing their little fishy tails and chanting, oh, water, 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 come to us like in the days of old. Show us your watery truth and goodness. That's how we are about freedom. It's right here where we are all the time. And the only way we get to enjoy it is by claiming it. Ernest Holmes says, true freedom is the ability to make conscious choices in every aspect of our lives. That's it. That's the whole big secret story of freedom, capital F freedom. I have it tattooed on my body. It's such a guiding principle of my life. And I still do the crazy Christmas tree thing. The ability to make conscious choices in every aspect of our life. Reverend Penny liked to say that freedom is what happens, the state that happens when every other God quality is present. So think about that. If you're locked in and solid on your abundance, on your love, on your peace, on your sense of wholeness that you are enough, imagine, go there with me in your mind. What does it feel like when you're preparing that Christmas party and you know that you're enough, just how you are, with no cookies at all? You're good on your abundance. You did not send yourself thousands of dollars into debt to get all the right perfect Hanukkah presents. You love everyone in that room and you know they love you. And you're at peace with that. How does that feel? That's freedom. That's what we're talking about. That place beyond what we do. That place beyond what we expect or what we believe people expect of us. That's freedom. And so when we celebrate freedom, we're truly celebrating the state of who we are when everything falls away except the truth. then we're in freedom. And from that place, we have the choice. How do we be? How do we show up? What do we do? Imagine if some of our best avatars, our most favorites, did not use their sense of freedom. These are not people, characters, avatars who did what they were told. Siddhartha Gautama abandoned his wife and child and kingdom to go sit in the woods and meditate for like 30 years. But he reached a level of wisdom that he was able to share with us, and that's why we call him the Buddha. Krishna was blue. I've had blue hair. Let me tell you, it did not meet everybody's expectations at the time. Part of the cycle of the destruction and rebirth of the planet over and over again, I would beg to believe that an awful lot of people did not think that that was the right plan. Let's destroy it all. Yeah, everybody loves that plan. Jesus was flipping over tables and yelling. They killed him because he so did not fit the expectations. And yet he brought the concept of peace and redemption to millions and millions and millions of people. It's a little simpler for us. I don't think whole continents or whole religions or whole factions are watching what we do with our ham. But our children are. I mean, I've got y'all watching me, so now I better get my act together, right? Our children are. So how do we do it? How do we choose our freedom? This holiday season, with the 700 parties we're all going to go to, all the gatherings we're going to put together, all the gifts we're going to buy, all the things we're going to do, how do we choose our freedom? How do we do it? One, would be a choice in how we show up as ourselves, as not the self that we think grandma thinks we should be. If we're gay, be gay. If we're transgender, be transgender. If we're liberal, be liberal. If we're conservative, be conservative. But with love, without a need to attack anybody else, because if we know we're enough, there isn't any reason to be fussed about what anybody else thinks we should be, including ourselves. Let it go. Just show up. Be fun. Be nice. Be cool. Be quiet. Be whatever we are. Just be. Be a choice with what you do this holiday. I know that this, close your ears, Mom. I know this is a shock, but you do not have to go to your great Aunt Mildred's house on Christmas. You don't have to do it. There are consequences if you choose not to, and you may not want to deal with them. I get that. But you don't have to. Be at choice. If you decide, I'm not comfortable with those consequences, I want to have the better consequences of my mother not being angry with me or whatever. Cool. But no, you are choosing. I'm choosing to go to Great Aunt Mildred's house. Own it. Every time you hear yourself say, but I have to, call yourself. This Christmas season, call yourself on it. You don't have to do anything. You are at choice. You are choosing to do it. You are choosing the outcome. You are choosing the inside feeling. And it does feel different. It feels differently to choose to do the thing that makes your Great Aunt Mildred happy rather than, I have to do it. That's just me too, right? A little titter through the crowd. And finally, be at choice on how you respond this holiday. We are all having this very elevated conversation about how we're going to do the holidays, and I am willing to bet that your entire extended family is not in this room with us today. Which means you're going to enter rooms where people aren't thinking about their divinity, aren't thinking about the role that Spirit plays in their consciousness, aren't feeling into their own wholeness and their own enoughness and their own goodness, which means they might be throwing some expectations at you. They might be throwing some opinions in your general direction. But here's the deal. You don't have to join in every argument you're invited to. You don't have to care if somebody else thinks your hair should be a different color. You don't. You don't have to argue about Trump. You don't. You don't. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, you don't. Somebody can say, Donald J. Trump is the best president that there's ever been in the history of the United States, and he's going to save us all. And you can just sit there. You can. The world won't end. Somebody can say, Donald J. Trump is going to tear down the walls of this country and sink us all into the bowels of hell. And you can just sit there. You can. You can. Because none of us come together in rooms at Christmas time, at Hanukkah time, at Kwanzaa time to argue about hairstyles or religious choices or who's marrying who or who's sleeping with who or gender expression. We don't. We come together to be love with one another, yeah? And we can choose to be the place where that consciousness holds its center no matter what else is happening, yeah? And that is freedom. So here's my invitation. Make a conscious choice. This month, every month, but especially this month, make a conscious choice. Use your freedom to choose how you show up. Use your freedom to choose where you're going to be, what you're going to do, how you're going to show yourself. Use your freedom. And so it is. So let's take that into prayer. Knowing that there is only one power, one presence, one divine mind, one spirit, one God, one truth, whatever word you choose. Knowing that there is only that one in and through and as every being, all of life. What I know for myself is that I'm made of that. And I know it for every beloved within the sound of my voice through all of time and space. That just as we are enough because we are made in the likeness and image of infinite perfection. Just as we are in that state of perfect freedom because we are love and we are peace and we are joy and we are grace. We are the absolute wholeness where nothing is missing, nothing is broken, and nothing is other than divine perfection. And so as we step into our gatherings, as we step into our preparations, as we step into all the different communities in our lives this December, what I know for each one of us is an absolute anchored knowingness of the truth of who we are, so that that freedom is palpable, that we feel it to our very toes and to our very fingertips, that we are safe, we are loved, we are whole, all is well, right where we are, no matter what. And I am so thankful to know this truth for every beloved within the sound of my voice, that there's nothing for us to be but an expression of the divine, because the divine is all that there is. And so just as the fish finds water, I know that we find our freedom, and I am thankful for it. And so I release this word into the action of universal law, grateful, 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 and confident. The Spirit is doing Spirit's work, and all we need to do is relax and enjoy. I call it good and very good. And so it is.